Good morning, everyone. It's the 20th of May. It's Tuesday morning. You know, many times when I get up in the morning, I don't have a clue what I'm going to talk about. It's really amazing how it works. And I'll come in and sit down at my computer and I'll ask the Lord to help me to come up with a subject that would be an encouragement and edifying to the believer. And the good Lord's never failed me. I'm not saying there's sometimes I didn't really, wasn't really clear what I should talk about, but usually it becomes very clear. Today, I want to talk about day versus night, or night versus day, however you want to say it. Now, if you hear my son in the background, he's snoring. He's over there asleep. Day is mentioned 1,541 times in the Bible. Night is only mentioned 296 times. So, by the sheer nature of the fact that day is mentioned much more than night, we would say that the daytime gives us more light, and the darkness in the night usually is attributed to something that is undercover, right? You know, one of the things that I remembered this morning was it says, in heaven, we'll need no light of the sun, for Christ himself will be the light. And also, we know that in heaven there will be no night. There will be no darkness there. Psalm 19:2 says, Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. But most of the time, whenever the Bible, not all the time, but much of the time, when night comes, then there has to be artificial light. Now he says he gave the moon and the stars to shine in the nighttime. But Exodus 13:21 says, And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. So God not only leads us in the nighttime, but he also leads us in the daytime. There's also a lot of evil that happens in the night, isn't it? 1 Thessalonians 5:7. And they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Job 30:17. My bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews. John 11:10. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there's no light in him. Job 36:20. Desire not the night when people are cut off in their place. Psalm 42:3. My tears have been my meat day and night, while they continually say unto me, Where is thy God? Psalm 77:6. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with mine own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Well, during the daytime we have a clear view of the world. I've often told my wife, I don't like to drive at night anymore, okay? And I've told my wife, everything looks different at night, doesn't it? Everything looks different at night because we can't see clearly. Job 27:20, terrors take hold on him as waters of tempest stealeth him away in the night. Notice, remember how Nicodemus came to Jesus by night because he didn't want his peers to see him going to the Master. So he went to Jesus by night. Psalm 136:9, the moon and stars to rule by night, for his mercy endureth forever. A lot of times the wild animals come out at night, so they can't be seen. Psalm 104:20, thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. Well, there is a distinctive difference in our view from the nighttime to the daytime. When the sun comes up in the morning, things look a lot different, don't they? Things look a lot different. The road is clearer. You know, the daytime is when most people do their work. Some people work at night, but a lot of people that have to be able to see what they're doing work during the daytime, especially if they work outside. You know, I used to have a night job, and I didn't like it very well. It threw my system all out. My wife worked nights for a while too. Everything's different. You wake up in the middle of the day and you think it's nighttime. Your biological clock's all messed up. You know. But in the daytime, everything seems to be clear, and there's no, you know, we don't have to guess at what we see. That's why Jesus Christ refers to himself as the light of the world. And that's why Satan tries to mock or mimic or imitate God. They call Lucifer was a light bearer, right? It says he will come as an angel of light, seeking whom he may devour. But Jesus Christ is the Son of God, S-O-N. He's the light of the world. You know. Light versus night. Light versus darkness. You know, I wrote a poem one time, I don't know if I can find it or not, but it's called Light versus Darkness. There's a big difference between having the light of God in our hearts and being absent of light. It's a big difference. Jesus Christ is not only referred to as the light of the world, but he's also referred to as the great shepherd of the sheep. Shepherds watch the sheep both day and night. You know, and at night they are kept in the sheepfold, right? And And then during the day they're let out to graze in the open fields so they can see where they're going and they can eat the grass. It seems like as the world becomes more and more perilous, there's more darkness. There's more absent of truth. And people want to not deal with truth. They want to deal with something other than truth. They want to create their own reality by believing all the false narratives out there. That's darkness. You know? I found this poem. I'll read it to you. The sun brings light into our world and brightens our path and gives us heat. The Son of God gives us spiritual light to our soul to make our path a joyful retreat. Darkness in the middle of the night is absent of any light. Satan is full of darkness and leaves the sinner with this plight. The sunshine gives our plants and flowers life anew. The Son of God does the same thing to our spirits too. Darkness brings the chill and hides our view. Satan and his kingdom does the same thing too. The sun always comes up after the storm to take away the darkness, keeping us from harm. The Son of God has shined his light into our hearts and gives us peace that passeth understanding, never to depart. Well, this morning let us remember that Jesus Christ is the light, the eternal light, and he will always guide our feet, whatever we're going through, even if it's in the middle of the night. May the good Lord be with you today in a special way is my prayer. God bless.